Yeah. Hi everybody, Adrian here, live in Coolangatta, midday. So I'm on the Gold Coast in Australia, and what an amazing morning, afternoon it is. The swell is right up here in Coolangatta. That's right, I'm now on the right channel. I switched over to my direct page and I was talking away to nobody, and I thought, oh, there's nobody on there. Adrian must be on the wrong page. So obviously surfing on the wrong surf this morning. So here I am now, jumped onto the direct spiritual events directory page, and I've see there's some engagement already. So just a quick one: if you can hear me, see me, and I'm coming through loud and clear, please just text a message in there and say, hi Adrian, can see you, can hear you really clearly. That would be fantastic, because it's nice to be talking. It's nice to be talking to people, because just now I was talking directly on the Life Mastery Show connection, and of course there was nobody in there. So just sharing on that, and I'll share it again. I'm in Coolangatta, sitting right next to the ocean. It's pretty amazing. There's a typhoon just off of the coast, and it's pushing the swell in, and there's a big 3-meter swell at the moment, so it's full of surfers, and you can see the more professional surfers are right out the back there catching some of those huge big waves, and then there's a bit smaller waves with a couple of people catching. There's even smaller ones where a few other people are catching waves. And I have this question for you, for me, for people listening in, tuning in, is if we take the analogy of a wave and the analogy that we are riding our surfboard on that wave, the question is, which size wave do you want to be riding on? Hey, thanks Kerry, that's fantastic. Which size wave do you want to be jumping on? Do you want to be cruising through life on that small wave where it's pretty safe? Do you want to go to the intermediate wave where it's a bit dodgy? Or do you want to get out there on that big wave and really challenge yourself? And I know for me, I'm really in that challenge space. It's part of my nature. It's part of what I love doing. I love riding those big waves. I'm actually a body surfer, and I'm looking at those waves going, which wave am I going to jump on after this show and do some body surfing? And I'm probably going to push myself to a bit of a limit. I will be between the flags, because that's what I do. I'm not that over crazy. And the question is, how are we going to make those choices? How are we going to make those choices? It's easier to use the small wave. It's a bit easier to jump on that second wave, but going on those bigger wave of life and taking some challenges, taking a few risks maybe, is not for everybody. But sometimes we have to step into that place and make those choices. And we are now in February, halfway through February. We're sort of 6 or 7 weeks into 2020. I'm loving the space I'm in, but what I'm in the process of right now is making some big changes in my life. Physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, vocationally, all other aspects. And I'm really taking the time. I've got a couple of groups I'm in. I'm running groups. I'm in a couple of groups. I've got a few coaches. I've got my mastermind partner. And this is a year of change. This is a year of challenge. This is a year of getting me to the place I want. So I'm letting go of a few things, and I'm stepping into some new areas of my life. I'm stepping into stepping up as a leader. I'm stepping up in terms of my vocational space. I'm letting go a little bit of the one-on-one work and going more into the group work, running more workshops, running more training programs, going to a few organizations and businesses, and letting go of some of the commitments I've got. And just to let you know, one of the commitments I've had for the last 12 months has been on this show, and unfortunately I have chosen to let that go. So this will be my last show with Spiritual Events Directory. I know, I feel it too, because I love the show, but it's not serving me any longer for my real needs. So I'm letting that one go, and I'm choosing to serve that, put that time and energy space into some other places. So it's been a great run. I've loved it. It's been great engagement, but I measure things in 3 ways: my time, my energy, and my money. That's giving and receiving. And in terms of time and energy, I put in a lot, and I put in the money for it. But in terms of the return of investment, it's not happening for me from the monetary side. So if those 3 things don't happen for me, time, energy, money, I weigh it up, and I say, okay, I've given enough time, I've given enough energy, for 12 months or more. But the return aspect for me, although energetically it's been great, and socially it's been great, from a business perspective of putting the time and energy into it, because it's not just the hour of the show. I do preparation beforehand, and then there's the follow-ups and the meetings and the calls afterwards. And many of those meetings, what's happening is I'm doing the 20-minute meetups afterwards, and 80% of those people are not turning up, which is really unfortunate and really quite sad for me and for the people who are making those bookings. And the 20% that do turn up and have that call with me, a very small amount are actually following through and doing the work. So what I've realized is this platform probably isn't for me. It's probably not for me. So I'm letting that one go and letting other people come onto the platform that are going to engage a little bit more with the people who are listening in. So I've realized it's not my clientele, it's not my space for my business. So that's what I want to share with you a little bit. But in terms of that, I'm still here 100% for you today. That's what my commitment is for you. So if you have a question about your life, about improving your life. Yeah. So hi, Emily. So Emily, on this show, no, I don't do mediumship. I have the capacity and the knowledge and the wisdom to work in mediumship. I work with a lot, personally with myself and my own guides. But I don't put myself out as a paid medium. It's something I choose not to do. I'm a psychotherapist and counsellor and coach, and I come from that perspective about empowering people to make their own decisions in life around where they want to go. So what I do is I help people when they ask a question, so I'm inviting that in here now, to ask a question about where you'd like to improve your life, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, vocationally, in relationship. And if you're clear about the question, on where it is you'd like to get more clarity, more support, more help, more guidance, more insight, then I can support you in that space. But what I ask you is a really clear question. So not a generic question like, will I meet my soulmate? Because I leave that space for the others in the show. It's not where I work from. Yep, that space is filled with others. So I work from the empowering place of the place of you asking a question, then me guiding you to come to the conclusions and the answers yourself. Because for me, that's the way I work in terms of my coaching, is to empower people to make their own personal decisions, and that's what I engage with on this program. That's why I call it the life master. I want you to master your own life, make the decisions for yourself, and I like to encourage that with you and help you to get to that space by asking some pertinent questions to begin with. And I'll give you an example. The lady last week was talking about she wants to improve her spiritual life. So I said, okay, that's quite generic. Let's get specific. Where do you want to improve your spiritual life? And it came, I want to find my spiritual path. Great, that's a great, clear question. So then we go down the rabbit hole and say, what are you interested in? Which areas of spirituality in? What sort of teacher do you want? What sort of study do you want to do? How much time frame you're going to put in? So we get really specific. And from there, we create the vision of where one wants to go, and then we do the planning, and then we do the action. So it's all about the vision, the plan, and the action. The vision, the plan, and the action. And when we get into that place in our life, it's really empowering. So we always start from the top, always start from the vision. I was at a business breakfast meeting this morning. I run the business breakfast BX networking business here in Coolangatta. I'm the team leader here. And one of the things we got to this morning was start with the big picture. Create the big picture of the vision of the business, of where you want to go. And then from there you do the planning, and then to take action to reach that vision. So when I do my work with my clients, I get people to step into what I call the future potential self. Visualize that person of who you want to become in 6 months or 12 months time, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, financially, in relationship, in creativity. And then what we do, we create that image of that future potential self. We paint it, we draw it, we stand in it, we find the words for it, we find the affirmation for it, and then we find the steps to get there. And a lot of it, I'm telling you, is to do with the subconscious mind, about deservability, about the trust of being there, about old stories and losing the old stories about why you cannot be that person. So I've got big visions of where I'm going, and I hold that. And the way I get through it is every week I work with my mastermind partner and my coaches and my guides, so my spiritual guides, and myself every single day to work on my subconscious mind and my saboteurs and all those things that are going to stop me to get there. Because without that psychotherapeutic work, I'm telling you, it doesn't happen. It's very rare for people to step into their full power without that work, without that guidance, without the coaching, without the psychotherapy. So that's where I come from. I come from that space of empowering people to step into more of life, to empower themselves in life. So I'm going to get some questions here. Sally, that's awesome, very inspiring what you do. I love to do this. I'd love to do this, what you do. Okay, so Emily, there's a prime example. Let's have a look at this for a moment. So let's take Emily. Emily is in a life situation right now where she'd love to do what I'm doing. Yep, so she's been inspired. Yep. So the way to get there, Emily, will be to come and work with somebody like myself who's already walking that journey. Learn from that person who's walking that journey already. Because when somebody's mastered something, yep, that's who you work with. Yep. I have a policy. I only work with people who are in a space of mastery. Yep. Or I step in and work with them for a while and then realize it's probably not my space because they're not in the mastery space. They're not living that life that I'm expecting them to be living. I go and visit their home, I go and visit their workplace, and I'm not saying I'm perfect, but there's a few boxes I need to tick with people in terms of their spiritual practice, their health and well-being, what they eat, the way they walk, the way they talk, the way they conduct themselves. And if it's not in alignment with that teacher for me, I usually step out of that space. So the first thing is to get inspired and then create the vision. Exactly what you want to do. Yeah, so that's the vision. Well, I want to be a coach, I want to be a psychotherapist, I want to be a teacher, I want to be a guru. So you have the vision, then you paint it, you draw it, you walk like it, you talk like it, you do all the things to create the feeling of it. You visualize it, you feel it, and then you make the plan. You may have to go and do some study for a few years, formal or informal. You may have to go and do some sitting in a class with a teacher for X amount of times as a student to learn and watch. You might have to do work on yourself, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, to get up to that speed, to get up to that level. So create the vision, then do the plan, and then once you're ready, you can take action to become that. So it might be a 6-month process, it might be a 12-year process, 12-month process, it might be a 3-year process. My psychotherapy training, it was a 3-year advanced diploma course, and I took 5 years to complete it because I repeated the second year. And then the final year, I wasn't ready in myself, so I went back and did some more units because I wanted to be ready. I wanted to be ready because the clever thing that my teacher did, Yehuda, I worked with Yehuda for many years. When we get presented with the certificate, he does something really super special. He said, I'm not going to sign your certificate of your advanced diploma of psychotherapy and counselling until you sign it. If you can sign from your heart, from your soul, from your spirit and say, I'm ready for that, he said, I'll put on the second signature, but I'm not going to sign a certificate unless you tell me you're ready. And I held that pen for a little while and I really had to go in deep and ask myself, have I done enough training? Have I done the inner personal work to be able to sit with somebody in a counselling room and go to the depths of where I need to go with some people? And I signed it, and it was like, whoa, it's a big moment for me. And then he signed it. But I had to be ready. I had to know he was my colleague, that he was my peer and not my teacher anymore. So 5 years, full-on training in Australia and in Africa. Sitting with people for hours and hours and hours, hundreds of hours of training. 5 years. We did 4 units of 10 days every year for 5 years. Yeah. So that's 150 full-on days, plus all the trainings every week and the lectures and the student pracs, hundreds of hours of student pracs. And then I was ready. So Emily, if you want to do this, it's an absolute commitment. It might be 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years in the training, but if you want to do it, start now, start today. If you want to call me and have a conversation and come under my wing and get trained and work with me, I'm very happy to do that. Okay. So trees, please, any guidance about my future with my daughter and granddaughter. Is very hard to move. One day they will move with me, but Dad passed for years. So trees, just clear, you've been on the show a couple times before, I believe. I don't do the medium work, so let's get specific on the question. Yeah, what is it you want to know about your daughter and your granddaughter? I think we've been down this road a little bit before. Yeah. So I don't answer that generic question. I don't do that mediumship work, but I want to empower you to find that question for yourself. What do you need to do? Do you need to communicate with them? Do you need to sit around a table and have a conversation with them? Do you need to make some plans? Do you need to create a vision to begin with? What do you actually want? What do you want? What do they want? And if you create that vision, then you can make some plans and then you can do action, okay? Because it's up to you to make these really big decisions. Because if I tell you, yeah, you're going to move, then you don't, then I'm wrong. And I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to be put that into your head that something's going to happen when it doesn't, because that doesn't work for me. Yeah. So I want to empower you to make that decision. Hi Debbie, do you have a Facebook page so I can keep in contact? Yeah, Emily, Adrian Hanks on Facebook. Adrian Hanks on Facebook, and you can see this beautiful board head on there. Just click friends and you can follow me. I've also got adrianhanks.com on there, and my website is adrianhanks.com, and you can book in for a free 20-minute session with me direct from my website. I try the best to help them since her dad passed and getting very tired with mental and physical. Yeah, so Trish, yeah, mental and physical health. What are you doing? Yeah, this is for everybody listening in. Are you at peak performance? Are you trying everything you can to be in peak performance? Are you getting up doing yoga, tai chi, meditation? Are you on really good organic food? Are you drinking 3 litres of water a day? Are you walking on the beach? Are you not putting junk food into your diet? You know, that's how you get on top of health and well-being and mental clarity. You know, that's how you do it. You work hard at it every single day. You get up in the morning, you meditate, you do your exercise, you go for a walk, you take your juice, you do your smoothie, you have your organic food, you don't put junk into your system. You know, you do some mental study, you do some spiritual study, you do some personal development work, and you get on top of it. Otherwise you stay stuck. And you know what? Staying stuck is a choice. Staying stuck is a choice. Absolutely. People who are stuck, I say to them, I meet people, you know, all the time, every day, and I get their story, and I say, so what are you doing about it? And I say to people on here, if you're stuck, what are you doing about it? Where are you taking action? So if you don't take action, nothing will change. And oftentimes taking action means getting a coach, having a session with a psychotherapist, making a choice to move on, you know, making a commitment, time, energy and money. You know, do it. If your washing machine broke down tomorrow, you'd find a new washing machine. If your car broke down tomorrow, you'd find a mechanic, you'd pay the money to get it fixed. But when it's mental health or spiritual health or emotional health or physical health, people are very slow about, you know, getting engaged to get that fixed. It's a really strange psychological phenomenon. So, okay, keep doing what you're doing. You're helping people heal. That's fabulous about realizing you're not on the right platform. I love the way you explained it. Yeah, thanks, Jody. Because it's not just, you know, it's not about Sarah, it's not about the show, it's not about the people on here. It's just right now, vibrationally, the match isn't happening for me from a business perspective. And I'm really on a business focus in 2020. Like, it's my main aim for 2020 is to create myself in that business space, stepping up into that leadership space. And so given this 12 months, it is not really gelling fully from that business financial perspective. So I had to make that really difficult call. I had a conversation with my wife about it last night, saying, oh, I love the show. I love this engagement. I love sitting here once a fortnight in Coolangatta, you know, live. I had a couple of people drop in even the other week, and it was just wonderful. And then when I'm at home or if I'm traveling overseas or wherever I am, it's dropping in and engaging in that space, and I absolutely love it. So it was it really was a difficult decision. And of course, I love supporting Sarah. You know, the main reason I came on was to support Sarah, because I love what she does. And I've been, you know, supportive of Sarah for many, many, many years, and doing the show was very much about supporting her. But now it's time to let go a little bit. Sarah's on her feet. You know, she's got other people come on board now. She's got a good team following her. She's got a good selection of experts coming on. So I can step out and know that there's other people in that space for her. So and that's all good. And there's another surfer wandering about. This place is like buzzing with surfers today because of this 3-meter swell from the cyclone coming through. And the rain's about to just come through. We're getting these horrific storms. I was in the car this morning at 6:10 coming down the M1 through past Robina, and I could hardly see through the windscreen. It was just torrential rain, and we're going to get another one in about 3 minutes. So I might have to yell a bit louder. So trays, nothing, only water in. Only neglect for myself, my son, daughter, granddaughter. Yeah. So, Tracy, if you've got a specific question for me to support you, please ask a specific question. We can go down the rabbit hole. So, if anybody else too has a question, I can really help in that space if you want to. Yep. So what I'm hearing, Tracy, and this is what happens to a lot of people. Yeah, the story's there. Yep, the story's there. The story's there. The story's there. Let's go past the story. And this is for everybody. If I sit with somebody for more than 3 minutes and they tell me a story, I say, let's just pause for a moment. Because you've probably told this story 100 times. Yep, so we know the story, you know the story, you're telling the story again. Yep, but what are you going to do about it, trees? And this is a great, I love taking live situations and making them into teaching processes so that we learn from what we're sharing. Yeah. So I'm going to use Trez with all due permission and love in this example, that the story's there. Sharing story with me, sharing the story with, potentially I think 900 people watched the show over a week last week. So we hear the story, but Trez, what's the question around it? What's your question? Let's go down the rabbit hole with you. What do you really want to get to? What's your desire? What's the outcome you want? And if we're clear on that, if we're clear on the vision of the outcome or the vision of the desire, we can help you make a plan, and then you can take action. Otherwise, what happens with so many people, they sit and have a cup of tea, or they go to a group, or they come online and they get on Facebook, and it's just story after story, and it continues. So I'm all about, tell the story for a while, but then create the vision, then get the plan, and then take the action to change the situation. I'm just going to go and move inside a little bit because the rain is pouring down here in Coolangatta. Absolutely pouring down. We're getting a dwarf. I'm just going to show you just with my screen out here. I'm just going to reverse screens. You see the clouds coming. You might see the waves. Let me just zoom in. Look at this 3 metre swell out there. Just caught a surfer there for you. Look at that. On the big. You can see the size of the wave from the size of the surfer. It's really huge. So it's a big swell out there at the moment. Lots of people coming out underneath cover because it is pretty wet out there at the moment. So unless they're out there surfing. So I'm just going to reverse again and come back onto the show. So let me do a reversal. Hope we even get it, the bikini clads in here. Let me just reverse again. There we go. So let's have a look. So yeah, Therese, I'm really happy to go down a rabbit hole with you, but let's get specific because I think it'll help you. It'll empower you to move past the story into action. What are you really looking for? Yep. What are you really looking for? It's a really good lesson for all of us to get out of the story and take some action. Take some action. So if there's any more questions coming in, please ask. And see some nice little smileys come up. Might even be my wife. She loves to put those little smileys and hearts and things coming up on my show. And I said, this is my last show, sadly, but it has been over a year of commitment in that space. And I will be stepping out of the show, but I do occasionally jump on and listen to other people on the show as well. There's a little heart. Yeah, I think that smells like, tastes like, looks like, and probably is my gorgeous wife doing the thumbs up and the hearts. Yep, I'd say absolutely definitely. Yep, definitely. Unless I've got another secret admirer on here. So I do enjoy the humour in this show as well. I hope I've brought lots of humour to you all in the last 12 months as well, because for me humour is one of the best medicines on the planet. And although I do bring that serious face and that seriousness, I hope I've brought enough humour in to bring that balance in as well for you, because humour is an amazing thing. So just tune in for a moment to yourself and ask yourself, where am I right now in my life? What's going on? And is there a question for myself about taking my life to another level? Do I need to ask a question around getting back on track and staying on track somewhere in my life? So can't keep my eyes off that surf, because being a body surfer is like, oh, I want to get out of that surf. But I think, I don't know if the flags are actually up yet. They might be actually stopping swimmers being out there today because of the swell is a bit dangerous, which means I probably won't get in the water. Because I don't have a surfboard in my hand. It's funny, they let surfboarders out there, but they won't let body surfers out there, which is a bit strange, because I reckon it's probably safer without a board than it is a board. But anyway, so that's the rules here on the Gold Coast. So, but back to that analogy, in your life right now, what size wave are you choosing to ride? The small, safe one? Yeah, mate, come and jump in. I'm doing a live show on Facebook. Say hello.
That's all right.
Yeah, I've got a fella just sitting next to me now, just out of
Finish
it.
that off. What do you reckon?
Oh, mate, we've got an artist next to me. Look at this.
I've been waiting to finish this
Yeah.
picture until it started raining again.
Oh, mate, it's classic. Don't you love artists? I just, talking about people with vision. I've got a guy sitting next to me right now,
I'm so tired.
and he's got his little sketchbook out there, and he's doing a picture of the hill up there in Coolangatta, and he's got his little pen here, and he's just doing his artistic endeavour. And it's like, what a beautiful thing to be able to do, to bring that creativity out in one's life. Because so many people get stuck in terms of their artistic expression. I know so many people who want to do something artistic, and they're so stuck because of the mindset says I'm not an artist. So if that's you, and you want to break through and become that artist, that's my speciality, and I can help you in that. So here we go. We've got Peter. I've been stuck for so long, but finally decided to do something. I'm now vegan, meditate at least twice daily walk every day. My own business, I'm sure exactly. Okay, so that's a great question, because often people, is it Peter or Betty, get stuck about where they want to go. They want to build a business, they want to start something, yeah, but they don't know exactly where to go. So what I say to you is book in a session where you go to my website, adrianhanks.com, booking a 20-minute session with, but please, no disregard, but please have the courtesy to turn up, because I say 80% of people that are booking in from this show are not turning up, and I'm waiting for them. I send them a text message like half an hour before the arranged meeting that's been a week before, and I get a message, sorry, I'm in another meeting, sorry, I'm shopping, sorry, I'm with my daughter. So I know those people are just not ready to change in their lives because they're not even prepared to turn up and have a meeting with me. Well, I've dedicated that time, which means I've lost time and space as well. So if you're going to book in with me, 20 minutes, please do turn up. So if you're going to do that, have a strategic session with me, and let's work out where you want to go. Because your soul knows. It really does, and I can work with you to find out exactly where you want to go in your business. So if you want to do that, book in, adrianhanks.com on the website. We can work together and we can find that direction for you. Then if I can help you, support you in a business coaching, I can. Or I can refer you to somebody else who you might work with. In my business network, there's 20, 30 other coaches I know that may be better than me, and I'm happy to refer on as well. It's not always about me. Okay, so Christine, how can I get back on track with my business and getting clientele, please? Christine, really serious question. Have you got a business coach? Have you got a business coach? That's number one. Get yourself a business coach, because what happens with the business? Oh, here comes the rain. Woo-hoo. It's absolutely pouring down. I'm actually getting quite wet here, even on undercover. I'm just going to move a little bit to my left, so I'm a little bit drier, and pretty wild. And so in all seriousness, get yourself a business coach. Get yourself a business coach. Because what happens with a business coach is you'll get challenged to look outside the box together. It's about accountability. It's about the coach knowing other people that can come and guide and help you. It's about pushing you sometimes. It's about working with you. It's about letting you, express your emotions sometimes. And what I love about my blend, obviously, it's all about business for me too on some level, is I mix coaching, because I'm a trained facilitator, I do coaching, I do psychotherapy and counselling as well. So when the need is there to go into the psychotherapeutic process, which is nearly always with people who are starting business because emotions are there, I know how to work with the emotions because I've got 5 years of training in psychotherapy and counselling. So I go to that next level. Yeah. Hey, hello. There's that lady live on Facebook. Woo-hoo! On Adrian's Life Mastery Show. This lady's mastering riding a yellow bicycle. I love it being live because you get beautiful characters like this turning up. Say hello. She's mastering riding the yellow bike in the rain, and she's soaking wet. She's actually, look at her, she's absolutely soaking wet from the rain. And she's come for a bit of shelter. So Christine, seriously, give me a call. Go to adrianhanks.com on my website, book in for a 20-minute session with me. It's free. Let's see if we engage, if we're a mix. If we are, we work together. If we're not, I can refer you to somebody else. And I know if you do something with me, it'll take your business to the next level. Because I'll challenge you, I'll support you, I'll guide you, I'll look outside the box with you. So Christine, what is it you do? Let's get that. Maybe you're not clear on the business yet, but maybe just type in there, what is your business? You know, what is your business? Type it in, and then we can have a look at that and go, okay, let's take it to the next level. Thanks, Tris. You did hearts and thumbs up too. Beautiful. Christy, as I said, I don't do psychic readings on the show. I'll leave that to the other psychics on here. I'll just, I'd say, do you see me having a baby? Well, one, if you have your partner, you're making love often enough, and you desire that, yeah, you probably will. So that's the answer to that one, nice and simple. Because that's up to you, Christy. It's about your love making, it's about your connection, it's about you wanting it, it's about opening up, it's about doing the meditations and inviting that soul, that spirit into your belly, into your womb. So that's entirely up to you to create that space. First question is, do you want a baby? Do you want a child? And if you do, create the vision and then make the plans and then take the action. Maggie, I can possibly help you, but let's go down the rabbit hole together. In what way? What's your question? Because what I am about helping. Okay, so Reiki, yep. So getting your clients to Reiki, how you're promoting, who you're working with, what's your ideal client, are you getting out there, what's your message, what's your energy, Christine, are you in that health space when people meet you they go, wow, here's Christine, she's an amazing energy healer. She looks amazing, she feels amazing, she's got a great energy. Because a lot of people, if you're not turning up in a high energy vibration, you won't connect that client. Are you doing your meditations? Are you on a good organic diet? Have you got a good look about you? Do you feel good about you? Because that's always the first step. The first 3 seconds of that meet, 2 things will happen. You'll get a sympathetic connection or an antipathy. Yep. Antipathy means you're drawn away from a person. Sympathy means you're drawn to a person. And that happens automatically in a nanosecond with everybody we meet. And if we're in business and we get the pull away, if we get the antipathy, there's no connection. If we get sympathy, there's a connection. And it's about how you carry your energy, how you walk, how you talk, how you smile, how you engage. What I teach people all the time in business. If you go and visit somebody in their workspace or their home, does it resonate with your own vibration? Is it high enough? You know, is the place full of buzzing of energy? Is it clean? Is it tidy? Has it got a buzz about it? If it hasn't, you're probably not going to connect. Yeah? Maggie, will I find love? The question for you is, have you created a vision of the person you want to fall in love with and be with? Yep. But, more importantly, are you the person that person you want to meet would fall in love with? Would you date yourself? Are you good enough for yourself? Because if you're not good enough for yourself, you won't be good enough for your partner. If you're not in self-love with yourself, you won't find it with your partner. Not on that deep conscious level, you know. If you're expecting that partner to walk in and be the god and look like he's, you know, super gorgeous and he's, you know, smells good, tastes good, walks good, he's doing everything creatively, he's, you know, but God, are you the goddess for that God to meet? It's always the first question. If you are, fantastic. If you're not, there's probably some work to do to create the space for him or her to walk into that space. It's all about working on self first. I have been flat recently, but working on that. So if you've been flat recently, of course you're not going to meet that vibration. You're going to meet somebody else flat. Or that ideal person will walk past you and go, nah, not interested, she's too flat. So your responsibility, yeah, is not to be flat. Yeah. Your responsibility is not to be flat. Whatever it takes. Yeah. Yeah, and he won't even see you, Maggie. He'll walk past you because vibrationally, if he's high vibration and you're not and you're low, woohoo, gonna miss each other. But when you both meet and you say same vibration, law of attraction, the energy will create itself. So your responsibility, Maggie, is to get vibrational. What do you need to do? Make a list. Physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, vibrationally, sexually, intimately, creatively, communicatively, all those areas. And if anybody wants any support on this to bring themselves into alignment every day, go to my website, go to the shop, and you can download for free a journal. Yeah, it's called the 10 Life Aspects Journal. You can also buy a copy off me by ordering. I'll post it out to you. It's ready printed and ready bound. But if you want the free version, you can print it and copy it yourself and bound it yourself. And it's 10 aspects of life, and every day you work on it as a journal, and you create the percentage of how you're living in those 10 aspects every single day. And I'll tell you, it'll soon tell you where you're not living up to the standard that you set yourself, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, creatively, financially, sexually, intimately, and all the other aspects of life. And that's a good daily check-in that you can use in that journal. Because if you're not up to speed vibrationally, the relationship won't connect. And if you're in a relationship and you're not vibrationally matched, you're going to be in conflict. So it's up to both partners to be measuring and walking. Sometimes this happens where one's a bit further or a bit more advanced or a bit more energetic than the other in that space, and then you support each other. But if it's continual, if one's flat and one's not, and it's continual, it's not going to last long. But if one's flat for a while and then the other's flat for a while, it can work and you can support each other, because we all get flat days or weeks or months or years. But it's about, you can find that support, but as long as it's not one flat and one down all the time, energetically it doesn't gel. So I hope that helps you, Maggie. So you need to do what you need to do. If I can support you in that, call me and we can do some work together. Okay? Because as I said, this is my last show, this is my last call out on this show. It's my last offer on this show to come and connect. Do some work with me if you choose to. The other thing I'd like to share is I do have a workshop on the Gold Coast, in Southport, in March. So go to my website, adrianhanks.com, go to events, have a look in there. If you want to come and do a weekend with me, a Saturday and Sunday in March, I can't remember the dates offhand, I think it might be the 14th and 15th of March. Yeah, I think it is 14th and 15th of March in Southport on the Gold Coast. 2 full days with me, doing some really deep personal development work. Then go to my Facebook page, adrianhanks.com, and the events page is in there. Or you can go to the website, it's on there. $300. You come along for 2 full days, and I'm telling you, you'll leave there after 2 days with an absolute change in your life. Absolute change. So Maggie, if you want to get some energy flow, I don't know where you're living, if you're on the Goldie, I'd advise you come along for my 2-day workshop in March. $300. You can pay it off in 3 installments if you want to. But get stuck in and come and do something. Come and get some energy, come and get some power, meet some people, get into that vibration with me. We get into the physical, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual, the vocational. We do some meditation where we get clear on the vision. We do some planning, we do some actioning, and we get you ready for the world in 2 full days. It's an amazing process. And anybody else on here is invited to that. Even if you have to fly up from somewhere, I'm telling you, it's absolutely worth coming to spend 2 days with me, because I will help you to change wherever you're at right now in 2 days. Get out of that flatness. I'll teach you how to make choices in a few moments to get out of whatever you're stuck in. It's about getting creative, getting the power back, making the choices again, making our personal choices for ourselves. I'm stuck, and I've got some tools and resources here to get me unstuck. I get stuck too, and I've got a good resource, bag full of resources and tools. So Melbourne, it's you can fly up from Melbourne to the Gold Coast, $100. Come and stay up here, stay for the night on the Saturday night. So you fly up really early Saturday morning or Friday night, come up, do a weekend, and get stuck into it. Make the investment for yourself. As I say, if your washing machine broke down tomorrow, your car broke down tomorrow, you'd find $500, you'd find $800. So sometimes it's about getting stuck into it. I don't know what your situation is. Maybe it's impossible. So from time, from energy, we'll do it the other way on the screen. Energy, E, and then money, because we're all in different spaces in life. If you can be there, be there. So I'll be down in Melbourne actually, Maggie, in March, from the 27th of February. I think I'm down there at the Greek show in Lonsdale Street for the weekend. and I'm down at Port Ferry Folk Festival for a few days, helping a friend run his store, his food store down there. So I'm actually down in Victoria for about a week and a bit. So always happy to book in a personal one-on-one session with you in Melbourne if you want to do that as well while I'm down there, because my son and daughter live down there too. So I've got a couple of days off where I've can fit in some one-on-one work if you want to come and do a one-on-one work session with me as well. So I could make the most of that in Melbourne as well. So look, we are getting towards 1:45 here Queensland time, and 15 minutes left. So if there's any more questions, or if any of the people who have posed a question on here want to get down the rabbit hole a little bit deeper, then please do so with me. The rain has stopped. I can see another huge big black cloud coming through. The swell is right up. It's like a 3-meter swell. It's pretty impressive out there. I don't know if I'm going to get out there. I don't think they're going to have the flags up today here for swimmers and body surfers, but I will be trying, I'm telling you, because I'm pretty excited. But some of the top surfers in Australia are flying into the Gold Coast as we speak to catch this weekend swell. Is up today. Tomorrow apparently it's going to really peak, and then on Saturday it's going to be here too. So 2 or 3 or 4 days of really top surfing on the Gold Coast, and there's scores and scores of surfers out there at the moment doing their surfing. Pretty exciting. And the question is, what level of life surf are you doing at the moment? You on a small safe surf, a medium surf, or do you want to get out and do that big surfing in life and really challenge yourself to get out and surf through life and catch that big wave? I know that's my vision this year. I've got some big things unfolding. In fact, just this last week I've been on a 2-week project with a webmaster designer, putting a huge big project out there in the last 2 weeks. I've also got my book published, focus this year to get my first novel pre-published, and that's really at the tail end now and pretty close. And I've also invented a game, like a small board game that I'm working on to get out there in the world as well this year. So 3 huge big things for me, and that's a big wave. Hence that's why I'm letting go of a few little smaller things like this show, because my time is getting put into these other huge big projects. My energy has been put into these other big projects, and from a financial perspective, this has not been paying quite as well as I thought it was. So I've had to make that decision to step out of this show, and I want to create some more finance around these other things I'm doing. So it's been a good run. I've dedicated my time and energy and my money for the last 12 months or more, and now it's time to say adios and move on from that space after today. But it's great, and I want you to jump off of my show and jump onto other people's show and go and support them. But if you want to come and do something with me and take this opportunity now, PM me, go into Facebook, go to my website, contact me. You can go into the contacts page, and make some contact. Let's have a conversation, and I can help you, coaching, counselling, psychotherapy, guidance. Come and do the workshop on the Gold Coast, whatever it is. I'd love to do that connection. I really, really would. Because this is what it's all about, is me supporting you from my experience and my skills to help you to get to where you need to get to. Because I'm pretty content with where I'm at. There's another level I'm going to, but in terms of my contentment of now, although I've got some hunger to go somewhere else, I am sort of 80% contented with my life right now, 85 probably. When now I want to go to that next level. I'm hungry for that next level. I'm ready to step into that next level. I've got some things unfolding next week with some potential joint ventures with a couple of people in the business corporate space, where I'm going to step in and do something new, because I'm a bit hungry for something else. Yep, I'm hungry for that next level. I've got my vegan mushroom bake on the dish, and I'm wanting something a bit more. Something a bit more. So, and you're probably the same. In life, you probably want a bit more physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, sexually, intimately, creatively, vocationally. And I tell you, get a coach, get somebody on board to get you there. Yeah, there's a beautiful saying. Yeah, beautiful saying. Let's see if I can remember it. Jump, he cried. We can't, they shouted. He pushed them, and they flew. So sometimes you need a bit of a push, and then you fly. And a good coach will push. A good coach will push. I was at a meeting this morning, and somebody was trying to get some clarity, and I stopped them and said, stop for a moment. Stop for a moment. What's the one thing you're taking away from here that you're going to follow up on to take action? And they said, okay. and they said one thing. They said, like, I'm going to commit to making that one action. I said, if you do that, it's going to change your whole business dynamic. One action. Because you'll be focused. You'll meet people, you'll have the conversation about that one focus. And then you'll get the right people, vibrationally, to come in, and your business will improve. Because you've had a vision, now you've got a plan, and now you're taking action. Because that is the formula. The absolute formula. You create the vision, you have the bigger picture, and then do some planning with your coach, with the psychotherapist, with your counselor. And then from that together, you can go and take the action. You know? I'm working with somebody at the moment, and we're taking the action of creating a business card, because she doesn't have one. And she's never had one. And she's so excited about the fact that she's going to have, 250 business cards in her hand. And she presents all the time. She has meetings all the time, but she doesn't give a business card out. So people don't know how to connect to her. And she wonders why business is not flowing. Because I'm old school, I think the business card still works. As long as it's an engaging business card, as long as the font is readable. I get so many business cards in my business networking, and I pick it up and say, you're obviously not after people in your business over 50. Because 70% of people over 50 wear glasses. Yeah. So the other ones that are not wearing the glasses to read your business card, you're not going to get them as clients because they can't read the phone number or the email. So who's your target market? Market to them. So if I pick up a business card and it's there's not very much light and I can't read it, I just can't be bothered with it, because I probably won't go back twice. So little things like there's little things you can learn in business to help support people, and that's my speciality. I see outside the box. I engage. I do some. I use my pendulum. I use my muscle testing. I use my insights. I use my, if you like, my psychic abilities to help people to get into that space on a deeper level. So if you're wanting to, build your business, create your business, it's all about energy. Is your studio clean and tidy? Is your home clean and tidy? Have you got energy frequency cards to keep out the negative energy? Have you got organic food in the fridge? Have you got water? Have you put a boundary up around no drugs, no alcohol? Because that's a negative energy. You're not going to create healthy business in that space. So you have to make some serious lifestyle changes if you're going to be a business owner, if you want it to get into that space really seriously. And you know what? It feels good for self. I feel really good that I walk into my studio, I walk into my home, it's clean, energetically it's totally flowing because we've got energy cards everywhere, and we play didge and music in there. There's no drugs on the property, there's no alcohol on the property, there's tons of meditation that happens every day with me and my wife and our friends. It's just a really beautiful, sacred space. And if you create that, it's different. So that's a challenge, that physical space. The environment is so important, as is this environment, as is this environment. So this is where I'm at today, just sharing some of this with you. Yeah. Just coming back in again. There's people out here looking at those surfers out there with envy. Some of these gromets, some of these people who are not surfing and having to watch because they're not ready for the big surfs in life, and they're not willing to take that risk yet, or have been advised not to, which might be a good thing as well. So we've got 5 minutes left of the show. Anybody else left on here that's got a deeper question, another question? And if so, then you can share that with me. It's been amazing. I'm feeling a bit emotional. I can feel it welling up as I'm coming to the end of the show, knowing this is the last engagement for me. The last engagement. So yeah, I'm pretty emotional. It's been an amazing journey. I've loved it. I really have. And I've actually shared this show from many places. I've shared it from Belarus in Europe, from Kuala Lumpur. I've shared it from India. I've shared it from Abu Dhabi. I've shared it from about 5 or 10 different cities around Australia, and different country towns around Australia. From Coolangatta a few times, from my studio. So I've actually shared the show from many, many places. It's been quite an amazing journey. So I've taken the show with me all around the world, and it's been fantastic. And I've engaged with hundreds and hundreds of people over that time. Many of you have been on the show several times, so I applaud you and thank you for being the life mastery junkies and coming on board and following through. But in all seriousness, if you're ready to take your life to that next level, make the commitment. Take the time now to say, where do I need to go next? Where's my coach? Where's my guide? Where's my teacher? Because you seriously will not get very far without one. So I'm learning more and more and more for myself. You've got to engage. I've got a financial teacher right now, a financial master. He's a multi-millionaire. Andrei Havato, he's a Russian. Been teaching for 20 years. Multidisciplinary teacher in the financial world, and I'm part of his network. I've got my mastermind partner of 10 years, Barry. I've got my coach in American Business Coach, Eric. I've got a coach I connect to in Byron, Andrew, the fire coach. So a go-to person. I've got a friend, Bruce, in South Africa, who's my mentor for my mind. And I've got several people I turn to when I'm needing that mentoring. I lost 16 kilos of body fat a year ago. And I got a super coach in for that, to guide me, to work with me. And now I'm in the gym 3 times a week. And I've got my almost vegan diet. Well, actually on Monday I decided my vegan diet. I was almost vegan, and on Monday I decided full-on vegan. Pure plant-based diet for me. So in the last 4 days I've changed my mindset around my food intake. And I'm absolutely 100% now committed to that vegan diet. And no more excuses. Because of the vitality I get from that, and what I've learned from that. So it's up in the ante for myself. And that rain is coming in again. Woo! Absolutely pouring in. Coming off the ocean from this cyclone. Quite incredible. So I'm sitting here getting a little bit wet on my right side. And there's not much more space on the bench to move over, so I'm just going to move over a little bit. So I am coming to the end of the show. So I'm going to wave goodbye to you. And I'm going to wish you well. And I'm going to namaste you. But what I'd like to finish with is a little story. I've got 3 minutes for a story. I love stories. There's a lot of learning in stories. So imagine I'm sitting on a bench like I am now. In fact, why not right here, right now? Through this rain I see these bright lights flashing. And the spaceship comes through the rain, through the clouds, and lands in this big green patch of grass right behind me. And out of that spaceship jump 3 little alien beings, and they broadcast a message around the space here in Coolangatta on the waterfront, and they say, we are going to take 100 volunteer humans back to our planet for 3 months to analyse you human beings, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, to see how you are as a human being. We want to analyse you, we want to do tests, we want to read your minds, we want to ask you questions, we want to take blood samples, we want to test your fitness levels, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. And we want to see if you're a true representative of humanity. Are you a beautiful specimen of being a human? So, 100 people, would you like to come and step inside this spaceship and come with us for 3 months back to our planet? And can we analyse you physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually? Can we work with you? And then at the end of that 3 months, we're going to give you a readout, a biorhythm readout, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, of how you fare as a species of being human. And I would like to think that if I was taken and analysed from a species that doesn't know what it's like to be human, that I would come back feeling proud that I would have at least got an 80% pass mark. I would hope it will be 85 or 90. More the work I've put in over the last 20 or 30 years, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. So my question to you is, if you were one of those 100 people on that spaceship, how would you fare? What would your percentage rating be of being a great, beautiful representation of what it is to be a beautiful species of humanity, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And if you're not there yet to crack that 85% or 80% or 90% or whatever you set yourself, can you in the next 6 months do whatever it takes, the next 12 months, do whatever it takes physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually to be ready for that next spaceship? That's my question to you. That's my challenge to you. That's my gift to you. So on that gift, I bid you farewell, and I really look forward to seeing you somewhere at some time in the near future. Thank you. Namaste.